In this lesson, I'm going to start with the perimeter walls. And this building is very much a curtain wall condition, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I missed one column, so I'm going to copy that column aligned to level 2, 3, and 4. So that was all that was missing before. So now I am going to start on my perimeter walls, which alternate between opaque walls and curtain wall. But so first thing, and this is typically how I proceed to do that. Let's figure out a thickness. The strategy is going to be go around the entire perimeter with a provisional wall whose thickness is about, what generally appears to be the thickness of walls around the building. So I'm going to just measure. Looks like 8 inches. Will do. I'm going to start at this, usually start at top left. In this case, I'm going to use the northwest side architecture wall. Call this, I'm going to use the generic 8-inch wall. I'm going to set constraint to go the top constraint to level 2, and I'm going to use finish face exterior as my location. So notice base constraint level 1, top constraint level 2, it's the unconnected height is grayed out, and it doesn't allow me to change this. It's measuring, it's actually taking that from the elevation. So I'm going to start and move in a clockwise direction and basically click to the endpoints. Clearly there are places that don't correspond to that 8-inch thickness. We'll have to make adjustments, and we'll do that afterwards. But I do want to initially define the exterior profile, perimeter profile of the wall. Endpoint, and then finally where we started. So if I go to my 3D views and hover over one of the walls, hit the tab key allows me to, these are the walls I modeled so far. Curtain walls want to be embedded in regular walls, so think of it like this. Building itself has a sill, so part of the wall up to the height of the sill where it meets the ground is of a certain thickness, and then at some point where the sill at the sill elevation begins a curtain wall. Let's examine think we have some I think I've taken some photographs of this building, site photos. So this is very much a storefront. There isn't a sill to speak of because it almost meets the ground there. There's some opaque walls around. Some cantilever. Let's call that sill, for all intents and purposes, let's give it about a 4-inch thickness. So I'm going to draw around from this corner. Let's go back. This side of Mount Auburn across the front. Looking at photographs, but there's information here I could obviously ascertain from the drawings, but this sort of helps illustrate. So I'm going to make this extraordinary assumption about this really a 4-inch sill. And with that assumption, and you can always adjust this as you go along. So I'm going back to my Revit model to level 1. And I'm going to draw a curtain wall. Start drawing curtain wall across the front of the building, and then along down the side. So wall, and I'm going to choose the plain curtain wall, which has no built-in mullions by default. The base constraint is going to be level 1, but I'm going to offset that by what I'm guessing to be the sill height. Top constraint, let's look at those photos again. Looks like it goes right up to the underside of the floor above. Let's call it 6 inches underneath that level. So go back to Revit. Base offset is 1, top constraint up to level 2, but the top offset is going to be less 6 inches. I think that brings us to the middle of the floor. So now I'm going to start drawing. Oh, you have to make sure that this is set to automatically embed. Click yes, automatically embed. don't remember if by default I'm allowed to set the location line, but I'm just going to try to draw to the center lines. So here's what it's doing so far. And if I go to my 3D view, click shading, you can see what it's drawing so far. That's what it's done. It created curtain glazing at a sill of 4 and then 6 inches below level 2. We may wish to modify that. If I select this and say, so minus 6 inches puts it at the center of that floor above. If I do this at minus 1.5 feet and apply, it brings us 6 inches below that slab above. Let's go back to level 1. I'm going to continue to draw this curtain wall, curtain wall. Remember, I modified the one we just drew, so I'm going to make this the same, minus 1.5. And then I'm going to snap so when it automatically embeds, it stops, it doesn't draw continuous. Okay, that'll do for now, and then we'll have to go in and refine this. So if we go back to these views, here's what I have going on. So the strategy is first to, when you're dealing with a curtain wall condition or a storefront condition, is to draw the perimeter walls first and then embed the curtain glazing into that condition, and then you can refine sort of what we've done so far. I'm going to pause here.